What's up, guys? It's the real main event, the Rogue Soldier, the essential John L. Crossfire.
And I'm Mrs. Crossfire.
And once again, you guys are tuned into Caught
in Conversation. Shakalaka-laka.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 78 of Caught in Conversation. As always, I am the essential John L. Crossfire. If you're listening to this on the original day that it drops, Happy New Year. I hope 2023 is everything you wanted and much, much more. On this conversation, I will be talking to the hard cunt. Sorry if you don't like language, but these episodes are all marked E for explicit. Robbie Parker. Been meaning to get this one done for a while, so I was super keen to get this one done. Got some big things coming up with Robbie Parker, and as you'll hear in this conversation, there is a certain announcement that revolves around Robbie and myself. Robbie calls someone out for Anarchy Pro show on March 3rd, and we talk about his upcoming match with Jordan Sampson and MXW for January 28th, as well as go through a plethora, I guess, of rants, as I always do here on the podcast. I'm not going to waste much time today. The song of the week is Deathbed by Citizen Soldier, part of their Scarecrow album. I'm slowly getting through them. I know that, past few weeks I've kind of tried my best to wean away from Citizen Soldier, because every week it was kind of starting to become a bit of a gag that every week it was, which Citizen Soldier song is it going to be? But yeah, the song of the week this week is Deathbed by Citizen Soldier. As always, as I say on many of these episodes, it's not weak to speak. It's okay to not be okay, yada, 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 all that jazz. The match of the week this week, in this conversation with Robbie, we talked about a certain triple threat match from TNA, but it's actually been a past match of the week here on the pod. So the match of the week this week will be a triple threat match as well, but it is Callan Butcher versus Xavier Black versus Hex from MXW Ascend episode 11. It was actually filmed at the Horsham show, which myself and Robbie talk about. And of course, as I said, got that huge match with Jordan Sampson coming up. So kind of tied it up in a way, at least I thought it did anyway. But without further ado, let's just get straight into this one, because this is a lot of fun. Straight off the get-go, myself and Robbie were having some laughs. But ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the hard cunt, the hunter, the newest member of Rogue. Spoiler alert, you're about to hear that in this conversation. It's Robbie Parker. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to kick this off here. I am here with Robbie Parker. We're having a laugh. Technical difficulties as fucking always. This is going out on New Year's Day, so that is the sound of an alcoholic beverage.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's alright. I feel like the Fireball one would have been better.
Is that the Canadian
I've been trying to
get
the Fireball apple. They didn't have that at my local, so I got the Jack Daniel's Tennessee apple. It's not bad. Not as bad as I think like the Fireball would be, but because the Fireball's got like the spice, but that's alright. That's alright. I feel like that'll do me. I'm like, I'll open one tonight and I'll save the rest for New Year's. So that's alright. Yeah. Cool. Fucking oath. This all came about, last minute, because unfortunately I had an episode that just didn't come out. That's all we can really say on air, but
it just didn't work.
Robbie, I've been trying to get you on for a while. I went to get you on, a week, 2 weeks ago, and unfortunately, literally right on cue as I went to message you, you and the Cooters were hitting the town, so I was like, well, fuck.
Yeah, look, once the Cooters start, there ain't no stopping.
But I'm excited for this, because I don't actually really know you. Like, we've talked here and there on social media, and I messaged you and was like, hey, I like your shit, but we're going to learn a lot about each other, I feel, in the next hour to 2 hours, depending on how long you want to do this. But to break the ice, as always, Robbie, what was your earliest wrestling memory?
Oh, I was watching your podcast, the Zuzu one, and it made me start to think about questions and shit. I already had this planned. Now it's all gone shit. When I was like 10 years old, I was sleeping out in the lounge room, and I was turning TV on the Channel 10 at like fucking, wait, can we swear?
Bro, say what the fuck you want. It's all good.
Yeah. What's it called? I was like 10 years old. It was like late night, Channel 10, and it was like a rerun of old Attitude SmackDown. And it was Rock and Austin as a tag. I think it was set up for the WrestleMania match.
Yeah, the old make the opponents team up and watch it all break down after the match. And
Yeah, and it was like that. Like Rock's taunting on the rope, and then and Austin's there, like ready for him to hit him with the stunner, then doesn't. And it's like all that smiles and all that. Yeah. It was that showman, and it hooked me. But like, I stopped watching it then, and what was it? Because it was like late at night. I never thought, like, what the hell was this? And what was it? It was, don't quote me on the year. I swear it was like 2006 or something, where Edge just won the WWE title.
Yes, January 2006 when he cashed in the Money in the Bank for the first time.
He was on Raw, and Jeff Hardy returned.
Bro, yes, that was like I think mid 2006 heading into SummerSlam. I remember watching that with a buddy, and like I think that's when Raw was on a Wednesday for us. But because the internet wasn't like as prominent, and I think I was 2006. I would have been 11 going on 12, and it's like I'm sitting there, and it's like you hear the old school Hardy Boys music hit, and it's like, what the fuck? Because obviously Edge had just had that big thing with Matt Hardy the year before, and you're like, oh fuck, like it's Matt, and it's like, oh shit, no, it's Jeff. Like he hasn't been, and obviously he was in TNA, but as a kid, I didn't get into TNA until like the year after, or maybe 2 years after that. So it's like, oh my god, Jeff Hardy hasn't been around for like 4 or 5 years. Holy shit, what's going on? And then he hits the fucking swanton and everything, and you lose your fucking marbles.
Well, that was me, because I was sitting there, because I was at my friend's house after school, because we'd get off the bus, go straight to his house, because he was like, oh, do you want to come watch wrestling? I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever, all right, because we normally just play games, like back when the PS2 was the main console at the time.
Brother, I've still got my PS2 sitting next to my PS4. Here comes the pains in it right now.
So I was sitting there watching it, and then like, because Jeff Hardy came, like, did the return, and my friend was marking out so bad, and I'm like, who's this? And he was like explaining it a little bit, like, he's the brothers, blah blah blah, like the whole quick story. Then he hit the swanton. I was hooked on the swanton alone. Like, I was such a, like, I was such a mark. It was bad. Like, it was so bad. My Xbox, this is gonna sound fucking terrible. My Xbox gamer tag was supposed to be Jeff Hardy 69, right? I forgot to put the D in. I was like 14. I've just seen him on Raw, and I'm marking out like a little kid. I'm like, I just got this Xbox 360. I'm like, I'm making a gamer tag. Oh shit, what am I gonna use as a name? Oh, I like wrestling. I like wrestling now. Like, oh, Jeff Hardy, he's sick. Like, so I did that. Fucked up spelling it. And to this day, it is still the same thing. I was lazy. I haven't changed it.
Jeff Harry 69.
It's Jeff Harry 69. It's been it since I was 14. I'm now 30. Like, it's just
bro, that is the greatest. Fucking yes. Yes.
But yeah, like, there, I watched Hardy come back. Like, Jeff did the return, and then I started not quote unquote illegally, not illegally, using a site called Rhymes with HimeWire to download wrestling.
I legit had a conversation about that very site with Jake Gibson a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, I literally fried 2 of my dad's laptops as a kid.
Yeah, same. Mixed with that and porn, my mum goes, yes, he's not yeah.
This is just jokes, people. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But like, yeah, I then started downloading, like, I just typed Jeff Hardy on LimeWire, got all this stuff. I found the Monsters Ball 4-way that him, Abyss, is it Sabu and Rhino?
Is that the one where he does the fucking swanton off the ladder, off the stage to Abyss? Yeah.
Yeah. He's going, takes that. It's like, oh my god, he's up. It's like, oh, he's going higher. It takes 1 step to the left to then jump off.
And hey, that extra inch counts, brother.
It's all about them inches.
Oh fucking hell! This is never going to be a professional podcast. Look, it is what it is. I just like shooting the shit with people, but before I get too off the rails because fuck knows where this is going to go. We seem to have very similar personalities, so I'll go on to the next question. What then, Robbie, from seeing, Rock and Austin and then evolving to Jeff Hardy, at what point do you say, I want to do this? And then when does the switch then flip to, I'm going to do this?
Okay. Well, I mean, like 16, I was, you do the typical chuck out the single matches out the backyard, beat up your friends because it's fun.
Don't try this at home.
Yeah, don't try this at home. Try it at a friend's house. Like, that was the thing for a while. I think it was... Oh, how old was I? I think I was 16, 17, and PCW came to Geelong because, like, that's where I live. And the hometown boy at the time, Danny Psycho,
That's a name I haven't heard for a while.
Yeah, faced who is now Buddy Matthews, Matt Silver.
Yes.
For the PCW National, I swear it was the National Championship. And it was like Danny Psycho's dad's the referee because he's the referee at the time. He was like a senior official. And he was in a tag, like Matt Silver was in a stable with, oh man, my brain is now unlocked. It was the Alpha Males. It was Jack O'Lantern and Tommy Hellfire. My brain just now unlocked. Now you've made
core memories unlocked.
And like it was from seeing like Danny Psycho kick Matt Silver through the entranceway and the whole board shatters. Jack O'Lantern running in doing the misses Danny with the miss, hits his dad, and then Danny does a roll up on the mat and then gets the 1, 2, 3. And my brain was like, holy shit! Like
this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
This is like every sort of like gimmick run-in mixed into one main event. This is amazing.
Well, it's funny because you mentioned that you were listening to the one with Zuzu just to kind of get used to the main questions that I ask, and we talked about in that conversation like we love a good gimmick, brother. Like sometimes you look at shit and you're like, oh, it's overbooked, but sometimes things can be overbooked in all the right ways. Like for example, NXT just did the Iron Survivor. You look at that on paper, and it was like, bro, this is the most like Vince Russo shit ever, just grabbing all these different match types and smushing them together, but they worked really well. Like, the women's was pretty good, and then the men's, really, they fucking took like the whole storytelling of the time limit and everything to another fucking level. I was just like, this is great. Like, it's overbooked as fuck, but I love it.
Because was it? Because I still haven't watched the match. Was it like kind of like a Iron Man scramble looking?
Yeah, so it was essentially a scramble match. 2 people start every couple of minutes or whatever. People come in, 25-minute time limit. So it's you throw the Iron Man in there, and then they took the fucking penalty box from the King of the Mountain match in Impact, and it's like whoever takes a fall is then in the penalty box for fucking a minute and a half, 2 minutes or whatever. And I was like, bro, like looking at it on paper, I was like, this is overbooked, but I fucking love it. And the men's one specifically was fucking beautifully done.
I mean, you don't get over gimmicked ones like overbooked sort of stip matches, like literally King of the Mountain. I watched that. What was that one? It was Sean Waltman, AJ, Monty Brown, Abyss, and Raven for the NWA World Heavyweight. And I was losing my mind looking at people climbing up a ladder to put on a title. When you're, a ladder match, you're thinking you've got to take it off, but like they're putting it on, then there's pinfalls, and then there's a penalty box, and it's just chaos.
The very first one I ever saw was back in the day when Sanity, fucking hell, what's that? They're only online nowadays, but they still had Impact DVDs and stuff. At least they did in Goulburn where I was living at the time. They had Impact and WWE, and I remember just seeing Kurt Angle and shit on the cover and was like, cool, I'll take that. Kind of heard AJ Styles' name through the grapevine. Fuck, I'm going to check this dude out. And the very first King of the Mountain match I saw was the one where Kurt Angle becomes the official first ever TNA heavyweight champion once they'd branched out in 2007. Yeah. And this
Main Event Mafia?
I think that was when he became Main Event Mafia, yeah. It might have been the year after that with the Mafia, I'm not sure. But I just remember Mike Tenay just constantly hammering, reverse ladder match. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and then, as you say, you watch the match, and they're just doing all this shit, and you're like, this is chaos, but it's fucking amazing.
Yeah. I mean, TNA were known for their stick matches. I mean, look at the reverse battle royal, for instance. Everyone's on the outside to
I
get
low-key
in,
popped for the return of that at Summerversary this year, though. Here's 20 years of Impact. We're going to celebrate the highs and the lows. We're going to do a reverse battle royal. And I was just like, yes!
Yes! That was me. I was like, yes!
But after you see all this crazy shit with Buddy Matthews and Danny Psycho and all that, how do you then actually take that step before we go? Again, I all over the place, I'm sorry. How do you then go from Danny Psycho to taking that step to beginning training and getting your foot in the door?
Well, funny enough, I didn't. I spoke to one of the guys there. It was like one of the, I can't remember his name. He's still around. I think it's Rudy or something. It was like that. I'm probably gonna get heat for saying his name wrong. It was like I asked him, and he was like, "This is at the time they were in Rowville. It was like Rowville or something, and that's like through Melbourne, a little bit on the outside." And he was like, "Yeah, you come here on certain times, certain days to train." I was like, "Oh, sweet. My friend's got a car. We'll go up together. Yeah, sweet." We never did. Because like we were relying on the one friend to go. Never wanted to go. And like I only lived with like my mum. My mum didn't have a license, so I couldn't ask mum to take me and shit like that. So I was like, yeah. I was like, I'll just be an observer. I'd just watch it when it came to town, stuff like that for a bit, which I did because like Danny Psycho at the time was still wrestling under PCW, so there was still a couple of Geelong shows that we went to, and then that's when I got to meet like the colourful character that is Crackerjack.
Yes.
That was before he had got his head shaved and all that in PCW, and all you hear him yell at Brittany and hits a spear, and yeah, I think I marked out like an absolute waffle.
I still mark out to this day every time he does the spear, and it's the Britney spear. Like that is the stupidest fucking thing, but like again, in all the right ways, it just works so brilliantly. Especially someone with the great mind of Crackerjack when he puts it all together.
100%, yeah. All right. So don't want to keep getting off track. So me finally getting my foot into training, I was 20. Because this is, I was a teenager. Then I didn't had a kid, so was focused on that. And then my partner at the time was pregnant with our second. And then I got a little pop up saying that there's a training school happening in Geelong. It was PCW again. It was like PCW was running a training school led by Daddy Psycho here in Geelong, and I'm like, of course I'm gonna jump on this shit.
Fucking oath, why not? Like.
Yeah, exactly. And then like I go to the gym where it's at because in the shed, underneath the Elite's gym. This is real like Owen Hart type dungeon, Sue Hart dungeon type shit. Like it was the basement of instead of the house, it was the basement of a gym, and with a low boy ring in it. But it was great.
I mean, look, like let's face it. There's still a lot of people out there that that aren't doing any of that at all, especially over in the US. It's like it's a lot easier to get rings over there.
Yeah, 100%. But like when I first met him and I'm like talking to him, and I was like, yeah, I saw you. First time I saw you I was being such a fucking mark at 20-something years old. And he was like, yeah, no, that's cool. All right, now sign this waiver so I can drop you on your head and we'll get you going. Sweet, all right, no problem. And like that school, like when I learned that was, what's that? That's my son is now 6. So yeah, so 6 years ago, and trained with Danny, and that was the first and only group that we had. And that group had some of the best that are in like DMZU right now. Like it was Edward Dusk.
Yeah, so that would have been Walker. 2016, yeah? Tail end of 2016?
Yeah, around that, yeah. So it was Edward Dusk, Scotty Roach, Will Walker, Brocky Balboa, and Jake Taylor, who's now now on within the New Japan stuff and whatnot.
Yeah. It's a fucking pretty good crop of talent, though.
right? Like, but then like, you know, none of us knew what, like, everyone, because this was like everyone's still finding themselves. Will's bloody, like, he's now my best friend. 16 years old, still doing school, playing footy, and like fitting wrestling in as well, training like 2 or like 3 something times a week, and still going to footy. Everything, and it blew my mind. As he's only like 16, and now he's, you know, I think he's what, 21 now.
I said to Adrian from Anarchy Pro on the episode I did with him, where obviously, you know, my gimmick is Crossfire and blah blah blah, but you know, that wasn't always the gimmick I wanted. I had this other character since I was 12 that I worked on for all of this time, and I thought that I was going to do it, and then obviously you get in wrestling, and it's like, no, this is your name, and it's like, oh, okay, make it work.
Yeah.
But I was going to be the sensational Leslie Johns. That's like my alter ego in like all the video games and stuff.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you know, across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever fucking social media it was, it's like, here's the sensational Will Walker, and everyone's like, bro, you can't use that gimmick now, like this other and I'm like, this motherfucker, like, who the fuck does he think he is? Little fucking scrawny motherfucker. And then, like, obviously, I've never met the dude, but I said to Andrea, and then it's like, watching him now evolve into, like, the main character, Will Walker, and everything he's done, I'm like, you know what? Even if I don't get to do it, he can fucking have it, because that dude is leaps and bounds above everything or anything that I'll ever fucking do.
Yeah. I mean, I love that dude. Like, he's, like I said, he's my best friend. We trained, and then like we lost contact for a while because like I stopped training because my son was born, so I stopped.
I mean, family first.
It took me years until I got back into it, but like I got back into the fold with wrestling and stuff just before COVID hit. And like I was training at NAW with George Hitman Julio, like, you know, he's a legend himself, and you know, everyone will laugh at this, getting the abuse from him of "get up, fat cunt, you pussy, throw your legs up when you bob like prostitute taking dick," and it's like, oh fuck, man, like fuck, and like he makes you feel great about yourself, especially when he throws the fat cunt constantly.
It's like, it's borderline abuse, but like, you know, it's wrestling. You kind of got to like weigh up the line between tough love and and unnecessary.
It was the dad that's he's just beating us because we're just not doing it properly. He's beating us with words.
Fucking do it properly, fucking.
Pretty much. It's like, you don't do the flippy Mickey Mouse bullshit. It's like the luchas, they fuck the business. I'm like, fuck. No, George. But he's so old school. He loves it. But yeah. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked again. Fuck. The training like 2016. Yeah, the whole clique of all of them. They all did fucking. You know, they're all doing fantastic stuff now. Like, they're doing amazing. You see Edward Dusk on DMU, and he's absolutely killing it. With
arguably one of, if not the breakout star in all of Australian wrestling for this year, 2022. He had a fucking fantastic year.
100%. Fuck. Again, another one. I absolutely love him. And, you know, and Will, with the deathmatch scene with DMDU, you know, the impromptu deathmatch he had with Bateman in Ballarat skyrocketed him.
The second one of the night, mind you, and I did review that show on the pod, but to go, hey, I'm gonna dabble in it, and, you know, put him in the ring with Vixen, okay? She can take care of him. That's fine. Yeah. Obviously, he holds his fucking own, and you're like, okay, this kid could be something in deathmatch in the future. And you didn't realize that in the future actually means in like an hour and a half from now, or whatever the fuck it's gonna be, he's back in there again with Joel fucking Bateman. Like,
he's out of his like actual wrestling gear. He's in his street clothes. He's just fucking going for it. Because like was it Bateman's facing like my friend Crusher.
Crusher went down.
He hurt his knee. They had a backup, but the backup didn't work out. So then Will just ran in and just said, "Fuck it, let's go." Then Bateman's like, "All right," called it all on the fly, and just that was it.
Yeah, like for a dude of his experience level to be able to go in there and do it, and you can be like, "Oh well, you know, Vixen carried him in the first one, or Joel carried him in the second one," but it takes two to tango. He 100% had to hold his own. Like,
And now look at him. He faced fucking Casanova Valentine at ICW. Like,
right? In what realm does that make even a tiniest bit of sense?
he legit, little Willie Walker against Casanova fucking Valentine.
You kind of sit there like, oh, in 5 to 10 years, I would like to face, Casanova Valentine, Akira, name like any of the ICW guys, and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, it's happening, and it's happening right fucking now.
Yeah, you've got Dust facing Akira and Everett Connors and stuff like that. You've got Will facing Casanova Valentine. What? Like, I'm just watching my friends do so much cool fucking shit.
It's like I was talking to KV, and I'm like, obviously he was facing a local boy as well, but he's still, at that stage in his career, thrown into the fucking Pit Fighter X. You're just like...
100%. Yeah. Watching KV, like, literally talking about him, I watched his first match on a pre-show against Corey Pearson at PPW. He was 16 years old and, like, wearing his little all-black mask looking like a bug. It was like one of those really bad black masks. And then, like, I got to know him, and you look at him now, he was Deathmatch Down Under champ. He's now the FWA Jupiter champion, yeah. Which is a sexy belt, by the way.
Oh, it really is. #
gorgeous.
Belt porn.
And, like, he's just killing it everywhere. And, and now I actually get to wrestle him at MXW and stuff like that. And I love it. The fact that I'm literally wrestling all my friends in a promotion like MXW, and it blows my mind.
Absolutely, but I think we're doting on other people when I'm here to try and put you over, brother. So we'll segue away a little bit. We'll get to the MXW in just a second, but you mentioned, wrestling people and getting to know people. Someone that I know fairly well, I'd say, is the unstable Tom Barrett. Little known fact, he did have a hand in training me in my very earlier years.
Yep.
You've recently had a little bit of a run-in with the unstable one. Tell us a little bit about how that came to be, because I know that, you had the match. I still haven't had a chance to watch it. I don't actually know if APW's uploaded it yet. I'm still 3 shows behind. I'm slowly catching up, but you got a nice little shiner in that, and you were showing it off like a fucking battle scar. You were showing it off with pride, and I was just like,
trophy.
That's my boy. But tell me all about how this came to be and the match itself, because that's someone that you could definitely learn a lot from, and it's pretty fucking hard. Hence the shiner.
Hence the shiner, yeah. I got a message from my friend Sam, who is Ronan Walker, who's someone I did the backyard with in the early years, So it's like my best friend, one of my other good friends is doing stuff. I get a message from him saying, hey, the bookers at APW I've put him forward to do a tag team with us two. I'm like, sick. All right. Fuck, like, yeah, I'll take whatever opportunity. He's like, I'm having a match with Barrett, like a little run-in, like an impromptu match or whatever, and then you're going to do the save. Cool. He had a match, started getting the shit beat out of him by Tom. And then I did the run in, make the save from a good friend. And then pretty much I think I just kept pestering APW for a match against Tom, because I thought it'd be fun.
Some big old meat slapping.
As exactly like Big E says, 2 meaty men bumping meat, like
bumping breasts.
I mean, we had the match, which is the last match of the year, like the year for APW, which still, like, the last show of the year for APW, which still blows my mind. My first technically this would be my first actual
singles match for APW.
Debut. Debut in general. Like,
yeah, true, yeah.
Not counting like MXW, like debut in pro wrestling in general.
Well, because you did the MXW stuff at the show, but this one that's coming up that we're about to talk about, this is their first, air quotes on an audio podcast, but this is their first official show. So I guess technically, on a technicality, if you want to say that's your debut for pro wrestling properly, I guess.
Yeah. So I got the match against Tom, which, that was absolutely, loved the shit out of it. I've watched the hard cam footage back, and I can see exactly the moment where I've got the shiner, and then I had this nice, lovely lump on the side of my head. You could feel it with your hand, but you couldn't see it, sort of thing. A great way to get the girl sympathy vote, actually, to tell you the truth.
I always tell him, I got a mate. He just had a knee surgery, and he's like fucking 6'4" or 6'5", whatever the fuck he is. And he's like, "Fuck, bro, like this is killing me." I'm like, "Hey, you're tall as fuck, and chicks dig scars. You'll be all right."
Well, it was fun because the match happened. I love the match. It was stiff. We beat the shit out of each other. We literally just threw strikes. I think there was 2 actual moves, a suplex somewhere. No, I didn't even take a suplex. Shit. I don't think we really bumped. We just beat the shit out of each other, really.
Yeah, the only time he and I have actually touched in an official match, as I said, I did mostly training, was a 4-way, and I took a clothesline from him, and he fucking, the expression almost got clothesline out of their boots. I legit hit that hard that I had to pull my shoe back up over my ankle. I almost got clotheslined out of my boots, and they were tied pretty fucking tight, but he just hit me, and the bump was beautiful.
He just froze.
Yeah, and I probably one of the best bumps I've done, threw me fucking me ankles up as much as I could, and it's just bang, and I was like, oh fuck, roll out, and I'm like, oh shit, my shoe's actually loose now, what the fuck?
It was the same. He hit me with a lariat, and that thing, he was like, "See ya," and I'm like, "Huh?" And he's bam, and I'm like, I just folded, I just went down. The crowd's like, "Oh," and I'm just at the end of the match, I'm going out the back, and people are going to me like, "Hey, you all right after that clothesline?" I said, "Why?" And it's like, "'Cause you died. You look like you got the shit ripped out of you." I'm like, "Yeah."
It's one of those ones though where it hurts so bad that it's good. Because as hard as he hit you, he still hit you so fucking clean, and you're just like, bang! Oh, what a bump!
Yeah, it was that. It was like the when I copped the shiner, he hit me across the face a couple times, and then it was I went down a little and I got up and I did the whole fucking and then just he threw the forearm. We both thought the exact same thing. I did and he did. We both threw each other in the face. I went down, he didn't, but. Yeah, that's how I got my shiner. It's healed up now, thank God. It doesn't look as bad as what it was, but
I don't know how much he wants me to say because he's put a lot of work into the the new unstable gimmick. But I knew him previously as Chris Shadows, and he my first match, he literally we had the footage right there straight away. That night we went back to the hotel room. He's pulled it up and he's sat there, and we watched the whole fucking. It was a tag match. It went for almost 20 minutes from entrance to entrance or whatever. And he literally sat there and he fucking picked apart every single piece of this was good. I like that. And just for a dude of his, he's been around for well over a decade now, but he was never the guy at our company. So for the experience level that he had so much fucking knowledge. And sometimes we clashed, and I don't think he'd mind me saying that just because he and I we're actually too much alike, I feel, in terms of our wrestling mindsets, where it's this, but no, I've learned so fucking much from him, and I have no doubt that you being around the APW locker room, you're probably going to learn so much more from him as well. But speaking of mitt slapping, you mentioned MXW just before. Their very first official show, again, or air quotes on an audio podcast, whatever.
Yeah.
MXW Slam and Sham, January 28th, and... Maybe I'm biased. I feel like this is probably the point where we can announce that, hey, look, Robbie Parker, he's a hashtag faction whore, put that on a t-shirt. He's the newest member of Rogue because, as I said, I love your shit. I love your shit. So maybe I'm biased, but I'm looking at this card we got Ace versus Joel. I'm a massive mark for that. Can't wait to see that. Can't wait to see how much, Ace will learn from that. Obviously, Charlie Rose is in the main event. There's a TLC. I don't have the match card in front of me, but there's a lot of shit on this that I'm very excited for. But Robbie Parker versus Jordan Sampson, I've got my one good eye on that. I tell you.
At the moment anyone says Jordan Sampson, my chest starts to hurt because I just know what's coming.
Again, another guy that in 1 year has broken out not just in Victoria and the country, but internationally. in a very big fucking way within the deathmatch, community. I don't want to say scene because I know that Joel hates when you call it a scene because it's a business, but in that particular genre, the deathmatch scene, I'll say, in that type of context. But wow, what can you tell me about this match? Because look, as it's well known, I have been offered a spot for commentary. It all depends on funds and real life outside of wrestling. Obviously, if I'm there, I promise I'll stay out of it. It's not my business because I just want to watch. But tell me what's going on here, Robbie Parker, Jordan Sampson. Because Jesus fucking Christ, there's going to be some bruises and slaps and slaps of the mini chests.
Yeah, there's gonna be some meaty men bumping me.
Bumping breasts.
It's like a quick circle. The top match with Tom, he chopped me, and I had little blisters started to form here. I'm worried about facing Sam's because there's going to be handprints bruised into my chest for a couple of days, maybe weeks. I can feel it. The moment I got told that the match was happening, it was the Never in Your Wildest Dreams at APW where you had Richie versus Crash. I got told that match that me and Samson were happening, and I bumped into Samson there, and I'm like, oh, we're facing each other. And he's like, yeah, man, cool. That'll be sweet. And I'm like, yeah, man. I can't wait to die. He's like, yeah, I can't wait to kill you. I'm like, fuck.
I feel like it's going to be magic, but what can you tell us about this match? Is there any stakes on the line, or what's going on here? Because I'm just a commentator, so I don't know what's going on and what's not going on. I just know that all these guys and girls and workers, wrestlers, they're coming out and they're looking to they're making a fucking statement.
I mean, there is, but they haven't announced it yet, so I don't know when they're announcing it properly.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, they're waiting for certain things to happen so then we can announce it properly.
Is it just like a rankings type of thing? Can we say that?
No, more than that. There's a lot more stakes throughout the whole show. The whole thing is based on this one thing, and we're just waiting for the announcement of that one thing to come out to have it.
Well, this goes out on New Year's Day, so I think you've kind of kept that safe. But if you get any heat for letting even that little bit out, I'll take that. That's my bad. I'll just say whoever wins is going to move up in the rankings because that's the natural conclusion of professional wrestling anyway.
I mean, technically, if you want to look at it like that, yes, there's you'd go up in the ranks. But yeah, my thought process, with this match, I've watched a hell of a lot of Samson matches just to know how sore I'm going to be the next day. There's no bullshit behind it. I've been watching a lot of Samoa Joe and Masala because I feel like that's just, again, two meaty men bumping meat. That's
just all of this. Yes, when you posted the little clip of you doing the combo, I was like, the old Joey Samoa. It's like yeah, you blatantly stole it, but you know what? It fucking works. So who gives a shit?
Yeah. I have more people come up to me MXW wise. It's we get told we're having this match, and it's like, all right, you're gonna hit that senton on me. Okay, cool. Sure. All right. It literally, I did it at the Horsham show, the collision course one when we had the whole day. Against Ronan Walker, and it was just like, hey, I want to hit this. Yeah, sure. Done. And I'm like, fuck, that felt good. Next one. The same night, I wrestled KV. Hey, I'm going to hit this. If you want, if you can try and get it. Got him. Bam. Ow. Everyone goes to me, he's like, you literally squashed him. And I'm like, okay. And I go to KV, I'm like, how'd it feel? And he's like, it was fun. He's like, my chest hurts, but it was fun.
No, I saw the one that you did to... Wait, was it Will or Ace? I can't remember. It was one of the... Yeah, it was one of the two anyway. I don't know why I was thinking of Walker. I think it's just because we were just talking about him before, but I messaged you that night. That was the night I was going to be like, hey, do you want to jump on the pod? But you were a little bit under the weather with the rest of the Cooters. But I literally went to my wife the next day. I was like, just watch this clip. And I was like, watch everything. Watch the boot. Watch the senton, and then even the little fucking hand flick you did. I don't know where that came from, but it's one of those wrestling things where it was so smooth, and it's those little in between things. It was just a little nuance thing where I was like, "That's fucking dope." And I saw the way you landed on the senton. I've taken some good sentons. I've taken some bad sentons. So just watching the way you landed, I was like, "Okay, yes, that's good. He's a big dude. He didn't fucking kill him. Okay, fair brother. He was dead. Damn it, no." But I was just like, I showed my missus that clip, and she's like, "This dude's good. Like, is this the guy that you're trying to get to join?" And I'm like, "Fucking try." And then I even sent it to Big James, and I'm like, "Hey, you might have some big man competition in this group." And he's like, because I don't think you'll mind me saying this, he's looking more at life outside of wrestling now, and he'll come back if the time's right, but he's not going to wrestle, properly, but more
like frequently sort of thing.
He's going to be like our enforcer of the group, sort of thing.
Yeah.
If necessary. I don't want to cause any problems that don't need to be caused. It's just, this is more of a brotherhood, that group of dudes that can sit down and have a couple of drinks or fucking whatever. Lord knows wrestling has enough of them as it is, but whatever. Be interesting if ends up being the Rogue versus the Cooters, because I'd just be like, "Nah, Robbie, you're out."
Fuck.
You can sit on the sidelines.
You can sit out on this one. It's like watching my dad and my dad fight each other.
No, but
it's my new dad and my old dad
but
fighting.
no, like just that simple little, like the inflections and stuff, I was like, it's fucking dope, and I loved it. I'm sounding like a crack record here putting you over, but it looked fucking good.
Yeah, I mean that was the one with Ace. Like the match hasn't come out yet, but like, Ace goes for like his little triangle drop kick that he's been starting to do. Goes from like the bottom to the middle, then hits a droppy. And like I caught him on the reverse
into the Manhattan drop. Fucking boom.
I was like, yes, it felt good.
Yeah, you posted that little clip as a teaser, and I was just like, "Motherfucker, post the match, damn it!"
I mean, I've got the match, but it hasn't gone up yet.
MXW, hurry up.
Constantly.
But not only like is MXW kind of branching out, we have a brand new promotion, which I talked about a few weeks ago with the promoter Adrian. You have been announced as one of the members of the Anarchy Pro roster as well. Now, again, just looking at that poster of all the talent that's going to be on the show and the matches that have come out so far, the first match that Adrian gave me the pleasure of announcing on the pod with being Joel versus Tarly, Craven has issued an open challenge, and I was like, hey, I think Robbie Parker should be slotted in there. I'm, again, might be biased. I'm just saying, I dig the shit out of that. We've got Chris Law versus Jason Crash was just announced, I think.
Yeah.
What, 3 days ago as we're recording?
Christmas, I think it was.
Christmas Day. So there's already so much shit building for this as well. So you're going to be a part of a lot of cool shit in 2023 and beyond. So who are you looking at on the Anarchy Pro sides of things? Like, who are you hoping that you get to get your hands on for that first show?
I mean, there's one actually. I know I spoke to Adrian about doing this because he knew about the podcast like the first time we were going to do it, and he wanted me to do something, and then because obviously we didn't end up doing it, so we got delayed and whatnot.
Life, brother.
Yeah, it's all right. He wanted me to call out because I had a bit of miff with this dude backwards and forwards, with on other shows, like not. Let's see, not. He's a bit on the grey side, if I say things. He's a bit of a over the top overlord, so to speak. I reckon I might as well just do it for the pod, cause fuck it, or like why not? I feel like I want to call out Manos and.
Oh, fucking! What? See, now he's probably going to come for me now because this is my platform. But, bro, again, meat slapping. I'm pretty sure I just did that in the microphone. So if you're listening to this in fucking with earphones when it drops, my bad. But, yes, fucking yes.
It feels like it. I've had him, I've been was friends with him for a long time with like when he was his old man, I'm gonna butcher that name. It's like Alexi Topolopoulos.
He's gone through some changes over the years, both physically and very much mentally. Let's just say that. To become what he's become, and
I feel like he just read that 150 Shades of Grey book and decided to take the name on too much and take the whole moniker a bit too far.
That sounds like fighting words there from Robbie Parker, but the only thing is you got to be careful of Hugh Sands and Mason Stoneheart at ringside possibly, but then maybe that's when I may have to just come along with a friend by the name of Charles Charrington.
I won't say no to the backup probably because look, I've seen a lot of Manos's matches lately, and I've seen that they like to sit right at the entranceway and they just sort of chill back. And
see, I've been trying to organize getting him on this podcast, and I don't know how that's going to go down, but he's a very hard man to get hold of, and once you do get hold of him, he's very hard to negotiate with. So, being that I am currently, medically disqualified, I'm kind of glad that I am doing this from a distance, but God knows what sort of means he has to track down the fucking Crossfire compound, but we'll leave that for when we get there. But fuck, Robbie Parker just called out fucking Manos right here on New Year's Day when you guys were first hearing this. Holy fucking Jesus Christ. I'll drink to that.
Yeah. I would if I had an alcoholic beverage.
Absolutely.
I got Solo. Solo will do for now.
Now that I've gotten through like that, pretty much the full can, I will say, gets a tick of approval. I still feel like the Fireball would be better because it has like the spice to it as well, but that's all right. I'm going to enjoy the rest of those on New Year's night, that's for sure.
Oh.
Fucking hell. So, we've been going for just over 40 minutes now, Robbie, so we'll go back to some of the actual, questions in my core five. What is your favourite match of all time, both that you've had so far in your career, and or even some of your matches? I always say, what's your favourite? But, most people usually list 3 to 5. But what's the couple of favourite matches you've had, and what are some of the favourite matches you've seen, whether it's on TV or live in person? Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Favorite match I've been in, so far, I'd say it'd probably be the current Me vs Ace one that you saw the teaser for when it gets uploaded.
Be sure to share that when it drops. That's for sure.
Yeah, I feel like that because we've had that time of put more work into each other. We've evolved with our characters itself, with our ability with everything, and I feel like the match that we had was great. I enjoyed the absolute shit out of it. Would wrestle Ace 100 times. If I would do the CM Punk Colt Cabana wrestle in every single promotion, state, territory.
Yes. And then there's a lot of them in the country now, and a lot of them are extremely fucking high quality as well, which is just insane, because Australia isn't actually that big of a fucking place when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, you look at it on a map and it's just like large deserts, but it's not actually that big when you piece it together compared to some other countries out there.
Yeah. Probably the best match I've watched. I'll do both. I'll do what I've watched locally and then TV, because I've got a few. There was now you got me. Ada Miller versus Tyson Baxter at APW. It was last year. I'm trying to think of the show, but it was it was Miller's break match. He took some time off afterwards. But that match alone was it was so good. That was Baxter just came off from his first knee injury, just starting to get back into the motions of everything. I
hope we see him back sooner than later, because fuck me, that dude is far too talented to be sitting on the sidelines. But in saying that though, I've said it a few times on the pod now. I sound like a crack record, but I'm like 4 or 5 shows behind on DMDU. I really need to get around to catching up on that. But the shows that they've done with him on color and Aaron doing play-by-play, and I think they've actually kind of swapped and changed a few times just depending on the moment, which is great that they can both adapt. But they are a fantastic commentary unit. He's really come into his own as a commentator. So even if worst case scenario, fingers crossed, because I want to see him back in the ring, but he's definitely he's killing the commentary role. But that was just a rant.
Yeah.
I'm just, as someone that's had to do the same thing where it's like, I want to wrestle but I can't wrestle, so let me just do this commentary thing. I can appreciate seeing the way that he's taken to it to like a duck to water, to use an old expression. He's just from day one he fucking jumped on it. So it's good to see, but I do hope to see him back in the ring.
100%. And then match I've watched, it would be TNA Unbreakable 2005 is the Joe AJ Daniels triple threat.
Fucking yeah, bro. They've had I think they had
3 total.
Three. I was like 3.
2 or 3. It's 2 or 3.
I'm positive it's 3. But I've shown my wife the first 2 at least. But I think because I did one in 05, and then I did one in, I think it was either 07 or 08.
Yeah,
and then
like Turning Point 08. AJ
and then
was
I'm
the world
positive
champ.
that they did one again in like 2009 or 2010.
I think they teased it, but they didn't do it.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking of. But
I
know
like
they've at least had the 2.
They've
at least had the 2.
Yeah, because it was AJ was just doing his dark ways sort of gimmick.
That's still one of my favorite transitions when he comes back and he comes out to the evil ways, and then they tried to. It became like his entrance every week, but they never timed it as well as they did the first time, where it's like my evil ways, and he threw the hood back, and as he did it, the get ready to fly and everything kicked in. I still because that was around the time where TNA were kind of like, their product was good, but they kind of was starting to dip again, because they kind of after Hogan and Bischoff they went up and down, and it was kind of around the time where they were kind of aces and eights peaked him a little bit, and then it still kind of started to dip. But that fucking pop, man, still they did it every week where he come out evil ways, get ready to fly from them. But the very first one, it was the best fucking timing. I've shown my wife that clip. It gives me goosebumps every time. So good.
I was a huge TNA mark from the 05 to when I started when I found him because of watching Jeff Hardy. I would then go through all the backlog, and now have the Impact the Impact app, and I'll watch back everything. And I'm a huge fucking AJ mark. I just watching all the old stuff from the Evil Ways to just heart of the X
very
Division.
first Pure Rules match I saw from Ring of Honor back in the day. It was a couple of years after the fact, but it was when they uploaded it as a Throwback Thursday or something. It was the very early days, AJ Styles versus CM Punk in his very early days. And that was when I'd first kind of started to discover TNA. First started to discover AJ. I saw him here and there in TNA, but I wasn't able to watch regularly. It was just kind of as I got the DVDs over the years. And then I think it might have been 2012, I think. I saw it, and I was already a fan by that point. I was watching AJ every week, and I'm like, okay, it's cool, but I didn't really get to see the AJ that everyone had seen beforehand, right? I kind of saw him after the evolution process. So being able to see that in hindsight is fucking awesome. But I don't know if you can see it or not, because it's really dark and my fucking house is a mess. But over there, there's a whole section on the first half of my DVDs. It's all just a bunch of TNA shit.
Oh, yeah. I rated Sanity and JB Hi-Fi for fucking TNA. I've still got mine. I have a lot of, I've got the best of tag team wrestling. The Pandemonium was Motor City and Beer Money is one.
I've got, I think, the exact same ones from Sanity and shit.
Best of the X Division.
I've got volume 1 and 2. Fucking, dude, you just watch that shit for I did have Impact Plus for a while, but my app just kept fucking up, and they kept fucking up my payment and saying it wasn't there, and I'm like, whatever. So I've just got the YouTube version now, which still has a fair, decent chunk of stuff on there for the price you pay. It's $6 a month, Australian, through the YouTube, and you can watch all the monthly specials with it. So it's pretty good, but hopefully they get around to fixing Impact Plus properly. Ever since I did the update last year, it's been so hit and miss. 1 minute it works for me, next minute it doesn't. I'm just like...
Yeah, mine was the same. I just uninstalled it all and then resubbed on my phone because I got the iPhone.
Yeah.
And you can get it automatically taken out from the subscriptions on that side. I just did that because I forgot about it because then it just comes out of my bank and I don't see it. But yeah, I will go back. Like, I'll watch TNA over it. Literally, I'll watch TNA then over the current WWE product. Like, I still love a lot of the current stuff with like WWE, but if I had to choose between like Impact, have Impact Plus and just watch that, or sit there and watch fucking, whatever they're doing at the moment. I mean, unless it's the Bloodline, I mark out for the Bloodline stuff. But
I'm just going through my list right now of songs and matches of the week because I was like thinking maybe I'll make that the match of the week, but I'm pretty sure it is on there somewhere. But I don't know. I'm going to read that properly when I'm not like doing an interview, but I'm positive that the Unbreakable match is on there somewhere. But that's all right. Yeah. That's just a little sidebar, just live thinking of an ADHD mind.
It's like, well, it's still fresh in the brain. Yeah, make sure. Yeah.
But we're talking about, all these crazy matchups, and you face Tom Barrett, you're about to face Jordan Sampson. You just called out Manos. Again, I'm hoping that the Grey don't try and, like, fucking abduct me or some shit. But who are some of your ultimate dream opponents, both internationally and locally? And what are some of your dream stipulations? If you have an unlimited budget and you can put yourself over, brother.
Fuck. I'd Russo the shit out of it. It's like a Judy Bagwell on a pole forklift and a fucking excavator if you want to. Dream matches locally, hands down, is Bateman. The Horsham show, like the match got announced, but it didn't happen. It was going to be myself and Will versus Bateman and Callan.
Bro.
Yeah. My heart was fluttering like I just saw the girl in my dreams. It was me facing Bateman. I'm like,
I feel that 110%.
Yeah. And then, like, it was when we got told the match was happening, Bateman was just overseas with Sampson and York, where he just had, I think he just lost the American Deathmatch title, I think. And like he was too banged up, and he said to the guys, "Look, I can't do the Horsham show." And I was like, "Fuck." It was rough.
It's like the Simpsons scene with Ralph, and you can pinpoint the exact moment where his heart breaks right here.
Yeah, 100%. Because it got told on the day.
Fuck.
On the day of Horsham show was when I got told that Bateman wasn't coming, and my heart sunk. I was like, I had this promo made, and I had it on my phone. I was gonna upload it and everything, because like even though it wasn't on the Collision Course show, it was happening at Horsham show, and my heart was still like, fuck yes, I'm facing like Joel Bateman and Callan fucking Butcher. I was like, yes. But then he got banged up and he needed a rest, which is, I wouldn't blame him for having fucking how many death matches over that whole tour.
110%.
Yeah. And then Will rolled his ankle when he was at work the day before. It was puffed up like a golf ball, so he didn't come.
Shoot job, brother.
The match got turned into me and KV against Callan and Tom. And so that's when I first got a taste of Tom, because he just beat it.
That's where they did like the super kick pedigree combo, wasn't it?
Yes.
I saw the clip from that, and I popped it. I was like, you're all a bunch of marks, and I love it, because so am I.
That was the whole Horsham show. The first match of the day was Callan. It was Callan, Xavier Black, and Tom, and they were hitting rock bottoms, stunners, everything. Literally Attitude WWE 101 was hit.
I love that shit though, because like Callan, obviously one of the best deathmatch wrestlers in the world. Again, in a fairly short amount of time when you really put it into perspective. But you forget that at the end of the day, he came into this as a fan, as a wrestler. So seeing him get to have just so much fun and go out and do whatever the fuck he wants, I love seeing that for him as well. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Oh, fuck oath. And then like having the match with them, and then he's like, hey, he just he hits me with a spine buster, and I can hear this, like this thud, and I'm like, oh fuck. And then I turn around and I just cop this kick, and you're supposed to put up to protect. I didn't, and my jaw was clicking for fucking a few days. It was rough. But then the highlight after that, the match happened. The show, like that bracket of the shows were done. The lady that ran the Horsham show came up to us and like, hey, we need a couple of guys to come outside and do a dance for us, because they're doing like a whole group thing with like people on the side, and then people are part of the shows. Like there's like the cattle rustlers, like the sheep herders and shit like that. So you got me, literally just had a match. My back is fucked, my jaw is sore, and I'm out there doing the goddamn Macarena. Right after.
That is somehow though, like, despite, like, obviously you say it's the actual show, but that's somehow the most professional wrestling carny thing ever.
Literally in the back of my mind, I'm thinking Jim Cornette's about to come out and say, what the goddamn mud show is this?
These young fucks are killing the business. No selling, motherfucker.
Kenny O. Sliverhead with his goddamn spirit fingers.
Oh, I do love Corny, though.
I was just waiting for Cornette to come behind show up from behind a hay bale going, goddamn wrestling, wrecking the goddamn business. Like,
oh, fuck me.
It was fucked. I'm holding my back on, like, one hand doing the, like, everything, hand behind my head, and then doing the spin, and I'm like, fuck.
Jesus Christ.
It was a rough day at the business, but I wouldn't have it any other way. It's the memories that you hold on for.
Yeah, just for shits and gigs, if we ever get the PS, I'm gonna have to get the DJ to play the Macarena.
Well, it's funny enough, we're slamming Sham is the exact same spot where we did the Horsham show, in that pavilion. It's just we have the whole pavilion this time. So I'm just like, please, no, I don't need no. I just don't want to hear
almost like a Rickroll kind of thing, but instead of that, like Robbie Parker's music will hit, but it'll be like record scratch, one mucka, two mucka.
They give me the William Regal from Superstars, and his face is Daniel Bryan. They play.
That used to be my alarm tone for so long, because it had like the whistle for it and everything. I had to end up changing because my wife was just sick of fucking hearing it.
Oh, it's great. I can just see it, like, my music starts to hit, like, my normal one, and as it does the kick here where it goes, I will conquer, and then all I hear is, Macarena. I'm like, oh, God.
It'll be like, it's like, getting like, like the building riff right as the breakdown hits, it's like, record scratch, and you literally, as you're coming out of the curtain, like, freeze frame. You're probably wondering how I got here. Okay.
Yep, that's me.
What are some of your ultimate dream stipulations, Robbie? What do we... If you have fucking go and win Lotto tomorrow, and you can book any crazy fucking wrestling match, or maybe even invent a wrestling match, I don't know, what are you doing?
We had, back when we were yarding, back in the day, we had a match that was called the Merciless Assault match. All right. It sounds brutal, but it really wasn't. So it was like it was an I Quit match, essentially. But as we're beating the crap out of each other, we're hurling insults. We're doing your mama jokes. We're doing, like, you name it. Like, we just want you to say, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm done. It's like literally making him say, I quit. But we're just hurling abuse at him at the same time. Like, we'll punch you. Your mum is so dumb, she doesn't know the ABCs. Like, stupid shit. Like,
oh, Jesus Christ.
We were fucked. Like,
that actually would work so well, though. Wrestling Revolver, I don't know how familiar you are with them, but they recently did a match where it was Trey Miguel. Fuck, I can't remember who he faced. Anyway, he faced someone. It was leading up to his match with Alex Shelley, and they did a smoke-off. Oh, it was Kenny King. Every time they did a move, they had to take a toke of fucking Trey's weed vape. So it's like, it's one of those things where every time you throw a punch, you have to throw a zinger. If you don't throw a zinger, you get, like, penalized for it or something. Like,
that was like Tournament of Death. This was like a tournament of death, like 11 or 12 or something. It was Nation of Intoxication, like Danny Havoc, Lucky 13,
Yes.
and whatnot. And they had a triple threat, and they had to take a drink before they could do certain moves. They had like a bottle of Jaeger on the top of a scaffold, and you had to take a big swig of Jaeger before you could do a move off the scaffold. Because I remember Lucky 13 just like down, like, I swear it was like half a bottle as he gets Daddy Havoc up for like a fucking DVD off the top through a table and shit. And it just, that's some shit I would love to do it, fucking intoxicate, like that sort of stupid shit. I mean, obviously you shouldn't because it's alcohol mixed with people's lives, but
the absolute timing of that is I just got a message from one of your fellow Cooters. And Brody says, if you're talking to a Cooter, because he was replying to my story where I was showing off the apple earlier, and he's like, you have to crack at least one Cheeky Bev. The timing of that message. Fucking hell.
God. Who was that? Was that
Flowers?
Brody?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy fucking Burton. Oh, I love that.
But didn't Joel recently do that? Was it? I don't know if it was a match with Tremont or someone else, but they were like doing shots or some shit. I don't know if it was Joel. It was one of the Aussie boys anyway. Was facing someone. It was fairly recent. I don't know if it was overseas or here in Australia, but they were doing like shots or something, and it was just like fuck. I think it was Joel. I'm gonna say it was Joel. If not, whatever. But I love that. I love that a lot.
Speaking of him, he just messages us and goes, "How's the yarn going, old Rob Dog?" And he's like, "How's it going?" I'm like, "Still going."
We've actually gotten through this a lot quicker than I thought we would, though. We're just over an hour, so is there anything else you wanted to plug before I hit the last couple of questions and go into all the social medias and merch and all the fun shit?
Well, I mean, because I started talking about Bateman, and I didn't get my international one that
I wanted. My bad. I didn't even realize.
That's me. I was getting sidetracked about my heart fluttering at facing Joel Bateman.
Okay, so who is Robbie Parker's international dream match?
Okay, I have technically two. Faction-wise, it's Cuda versus Rascals. I've posted it. I love the Rascals.
There you go. 6-man tag, smoke off, drink off. Fucking, I'll be the special guest timekeeper. Yeah. I'll take a shot with you. Forget to ring the bell when the match is over. It's fine.
There's that. Like, I love the Rascals. Me and my son, our, like, goodbye is a Too Sweet and a Rascal. Like, that's our goodbye. And then for like one-on-one, me and Calvin Tankman.
Oh, bro! Again, you just want to have your chest destroyed by the end of your career, don't you?
I do, but I reckon it'd be so much fun. Like just
Tankman is someone who I've sung his praises on. I don't know how many episodes of this. He's so good, and I get the MLW contract probably ties him over, and he makes enough money to support his son. But I'm just like, why is he not somewhere else, man? Like. He could be such a huge star. Like, he has Triple H guy written all over it. Like, just...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I watched a little bit of him on MLW, but then Deadlock.
Deadlock is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, the moment that came up, the Patreon thing came up for, like, the... not the Patreon, but the sign up for the on-demand. Done. Best 20-something bucks I spend a month. I think my first match with watching Tankman was him versus, I think Andrew Everett. That was one of the first matches of the show. Yeah. I fucking love his gimmick. Andrew Everett's gimmick at the moment. It's just fucking, I
love fucking Bojack too, speaking of Deadlock and big guys. Bojack is fucking amazing.
Yeah. 100%.
Give me Robbie Parker versus Bojack while we're at it.
Oh, fuck.
That fucking 400-pound fucking moonsault or whatever the fuck it is. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, I'll duck under it and hit him with the reverse atomic and then hit him with the Samoa Joey.
Oh, the old Joey Samoa. Oh, fucking hell.
I think I just won all the big meaty men bump and meat matches. I think that's just my.
I mean, look, if that's your niche, then.
Then also I want against the Rascals, but it's like fuck.
So you mentioned Bateman and stuff like that. Like, are you, before I go into like the actual final question, just popped in my head, are you looking to go down like the deathmatch route or anything like that, or are you kind of just?
I have it on my list that I want to say that I've done it once. I can, if I do one, and then the years later I retire and say I can say that I've comfortably done one, not.
But it has to be kind of right moment, right time sort of thing for you.
Yeah, if it made sense, hell, a blow off from a feud with Joel Bateman, where I die.
You basically like just do the new ADMP thing without actually doing it. Just it's like it's not the anti-death match. You're just like, you don't deserve a death match. Earn this death match.
It's the is it AHP, anti-headbutt party. Bateman loves to throw headbutts.
Him and like every other Australian wrestler these days. I think Aussies just have hard heads.
I mean, ask Tom. I gave him a violence party and I headbutted the crap out of him. I was chopping and forearming and I was just headbutting, and yeah, it felt good. If it felt good, it must be okay.
When I was able to work, I used to always try and throw in at least one cheeky little headbutt there. Just because, like, I got introduced to wrestling through my dad, who was, like, a big fan of, like, the 80s and stuff. And, like, the old Andre the Giant, he used to do the real big fucking one. So, like, I just bang.
Wind up, the leg out, and, yeah.
I just throw, like, a little cheeky one in there. Same thing in the corner, forearm. European, and then just bang, little cheeky, just little cheeky headbutt for good measure.
Just make sure you're down. Yeah.
But as we start to unwind here, Robbie, I always ask a non-wrestling question. I try my best to tailor it to the individual. Seeing as how I had a sneaky little bev here, and the reason we didn't get to do the other one was because you were already having sneaky bevs. I didn't. If I had messaged you probably like 20 minutes earlier or whatever, it probably would have been fine. But
like I said, you could have had an interesting podcast with me and the Cooters all half cut, and because we were on our way to go out to the only club in Horsham. So I mean, we were prime ready to go. We were already a few drinks in, as we say for the Cooter vlog, so we don't get copyrighted. A few John Darnells, because we do not want to get copyrighted.
And here's me. I'm just like, yeah, I'm drinking JD and Apple, whatever.
Well, that's it. It's like that's all we drink is Jack Daniels, but we're just like, that's just our thing now. It's like, yeah, just a couple of cheeky John Darnells, eh? Like,
but what is, and this may be for my personal gain too, because if I get to come up to Slam and Sham, maybe we can have a couple cheeky little beverages with the Cooters. What is Robbie Parker's #1 go-to adult beverage?
Literally Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke?
You can't go wrong.
Fucking easy, man. Right, well, with that being said, what's all your socials and merch, if you have any, and all the fun stuff? And I'll, as always, try my best when I put this fucking thing together to remember to put all the shit in the description.
My Insta, I have to load it up on my phone. Robbie_Parker PW. I don't have merch yet. I'm slowly making stuff. I have had that many people ask me for my hard cunt jersey. It is ridiculous. I show up to one show with it on. I still can't believe I saw that for like 6 months and I thought it said fucking hardcore the entire time. And it wasn't until you sent me the fucking promo photo for the Rogue thing, which will go out by the time this episode drops, that I realized that it said hardcore. I was like, I know I'm blind, but fuck me. This whole time I thought it said hardcore, and then I was like, wait a minute. I love it though. I love it. And then what do we got? My Twitter is Robbie Parker PW, just all one word. I think I do have a Facebook, but I don't use it.
I think I found it the other day on Facebook, but it hadn't been used since like 2016 or 17 or.
Probably, yeah.
When you first like really started training the first time, I think.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna start trying to use it, but I think the last time I actually used it was freaking we just went into lockdown.
So 2019, there you go.
Yeah, because we had our old wrestling Discord of all wrestlers and trainees and stuff. We all kept together and we started doing like
your headhunter thingy as your photo.
Yeah.
I just went to follow you on Twitter, and turns out we're already following each other. That's one that I'm really hit and miss with Twitter. Like, I'll promote the pod every week, but I just don't use it. I really fucking should for marketing purposes, but find me on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah, look, I
character
try
shit, it's on
to use
Facebook,
Twitter, but I have no fucking idea what to do with that. Insta is my go-to thing because it's so easy. Throw up a question thing, that MGL, or put a photo of myself with some music on it. Done. That's
basically all mine is. It's just I'm listening to this, or I feel like shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep me distracted while I'm working. Some people, like, you have those NGLs that send you the random questions of, I know what you did. It's like, yeah, I know what you did last summer.
I think they're just like the generic ones too. It's like, is it true? And I'm like, come on, like, you're like the 15th person to ask me this week. Like, be more fucking creative.
And it's like, some of it's like, when's the last time you went showering? This morning? Like, fuck.
Yeah, I don't know, like, what it is. Like, people are like, oh, I shower, like, once every 2 days. I'm like, nah. Shower once a day, sometimes twice a day when it's this fucking hot.
Yeah, 100%.
But I thank you for jumping on, man. Is there anything else you wanted to just rant about? Because, like, I'm pretty chill. I've gotten through all the questions I had down, but I've gotten some pretty good shit out of this, I feel. Fucking called out Manos. That's going to be, I'm going to put, like, a thing in the description now of who did he call out? Dun dun dun. Like...
Yeah, well, I just sent a message to Adrian saying, so I did a thing, just so then he knows, like, yeah, you gotta do it.
I just love that, like, I don't understand, and I've said this to a couple of people, and I think I said it to Adrian as well, how, you know, I wrestled for a handful of years, and for some reason it's taken me now to, you know, fucking eye surgery, and I'm sitting at home on my ass. Somehow I've managed to make more connections sitting at home doing nothing, essentially, than I did the entire time I was actively in wrestling, and now I'm a part, technically, of the MXW roster, and I'm, you know, working with Adrian and gonna have him back on in the future to promote the show, and once more the matches are announced, and future shows after that. I'm just like, how the fuck? I don't know how this happened, but this is just me sitting in front of a microphone most of the time, just fucking ranting because of...
Look,
you know,
social media is a weird one. It's a crazy temptress. It can fuck you up, but then it can also benefit you. You know,
it's a rant that I've gone on so many times. Of you've got the internet trolls that wouldn't have the balls to say it to your face, but then you can make shit like this. Like, I haven't even met you in person, but we've had many conversations, and now we've just had this one looking at each other, and we're, you know, 5 hours away from each other or whatever the fuck it is. So yeah, I'm happy with that, but. Thanks for jumping on, man. Like, hopefully now that we've got all the formalities out of the way, I guess, with, you know, the what's your earliest, this and that, we can get you back on at some point and just, hey, let's pick a topic and let's just get sidetracked 100 fucking times and talk for 2 hours.
I reckon if you do end up coming to Slam and Sham, we have to do like an in-person Cougar and Crossfire.
I'm 100% gonna bring. It depends on how I go. I want to try and bring my full setup with the soundboard and everything, but if not, I'm definitely going to bring my 2 USB mics. Sound quality won't be like full blown there, and I won't have, like, you know, all the soundboard there, so that's more for me to do when I actually edit it and put all the intro and shit together.
Yeah.
That's all right. This is what we do. I can just kind of go into one of the like the episodes I've done and just rip the soundboard like sound out of like the intro or something.
But yeah, no, I know that they'd 100% want, because when I said about doing it when you messaged it me like the middle of the night or whatever, when we're all getting drunk, like we even said like a CUDA Crossfire fucking group pod, like that'd be chaotic, but that's a good 3 hours.
Probably get myself sued, but like do some sort of like a talking shop. Take off your beer, crack up. Take off a beer? Fuck me. Take off your pants, crack a beer in this son of a bitch.
Oh, fuck yes. Oh, I already know it. It's going to be chaotic but fun at the same time.
Like, Jericho just did one. I haven't listened to it yet. And he's like not getting drunk or anything, but he randomly just did a watch-along for Christmas of Jingle All the Way with Arnie. And I'm like, that's like, that movie is a classic to me. I'm like, I'm so keen to to watch that. So I'm like, just we did like a drunken watch along of something and just sat the two mics on the table and whatever audio gets picked up.
100%. No, some of them, because I know some of them haven't watched like a lot of like gimmick matches like further back. Literally, we go TNA Russo bookings, WCW Russo booking. Like you go step after step after step. Like you just get them to watch it and see them go, what the actual fuck?
The episode I did with Big James, or I should say one of the episodes I did with Big James, the first one I did with him in person, where we kind of went through how we actually met and became a team and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I made the gimmick battle royal from WrestleMania 17, the match of the week, just to kind of pop him. And then we actually got through it quicker than we thought. So I was like, we've got the laptop right here. Like the mics are connected, booted up, and we did a watch along at the end of the episode of the gimmick battle royal. Recently did Hogan versus Shawn Michaels with the wife because she'd never seen it. She's like, that's hands down one of my favorite matches of all time now. Like just the overselling and everything.
Yeah, it's the SummerSlam
just shit like that is just put something like that on and just be like, let's go.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But I thank you for jumping on, my brother. As I said, I'll try and remember to link all the things. Luckily, you only do have the two, so that's a lot easier for me to remember.
Yeah,
but
look, I make it light work for everybody.
But yeah, the links for MXW and Anarchy's Pros, respectively, will be down there as well, plus ICW in February, which I will not be attending. But thank you for coming on, Robbie. I'll let you go. Go do whatever you want to do for the rest of the night before you got to get up and go to work tomorrow. I had a nap earlier before I called you. I was meant to nap for like an hour. I ended up napping for like 4.5 hours. So I'm probably just going to be up watching fucking Netflix all night now. But again, I'm off work, so I can just sleep all day tomorrow because why not?
Legit. Oh, no, thank you for having me. I've had so much fun. This is this is my first pro wrestling podcast. I did one for the backyard donkeys ago when I was a dick, but now
it's official now. He made his official debut. He's gonna
I'll make it
raise that asking price, brother.
2022 is the year of debuts, and 2023 is the day when my chest gets caved in by getting beat up by everyone.
This is going to be interesting. I mean, so, have you got anything booked in for February yet?
I think no. I don't know.
Because I'm looking at it right now, and I'm like, you've got MX Dub, 28th of Jan. You're in there with Jordan Sampson, and then you just called out Manos for Anarchy, which is March 3rd. So you might have a month of healing between. You might not.
I don't know, because I think MXW are planning to go again. Maybe I think they're trying to go they're looking at going to Mildura.
Case of stay tuned, eh?
Pretty much, yeah. There's talks of doing stuff. I don't know what's set and what's not, but
I need to get Ace and all those guys on at some point. So even if after Slam and Sham we get them on and then promote what may or may not be coming on, but this is just us spitballing. So I'm going to wrap it up here. As I said, I could read all night. I have ADHD, my apologies. But yeah, man, thanks for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of Rogue, as announced on this episode, Happy New Year. It's the hard cunt, not hardcore, Robbie fucking Parker. Thanks for coming on, brother. Catch you later.
Catch you, buddy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was, once again, the newest member of Rogue. He is a hashtag faction whore. Still think you should put it on a t-shirt, but that's just me. I also can't believe he called out the Overlord Manos on my podcast. If I get kidnapped, y'all know it was the Grey, Mrs. Crossfire. Send some money. I know we haven't got much, but that's all right. All the links for this episode will be in the description box below, so if you want to send me some money, we got my merch, my Amazon wish list, all the social media, all the bells and whistles. Make sure you check out Robbie's links as well. He only uses Instagram and occasionally Twitter. He said he has Facebook, but doesn't currently use it. He is working on it. But what a fun conversation that went off the rails before we began, as you guys kind of got a taste of once the official intro kicked in. But It's the Caught in Conversation pod. It's New Year's Day as you're listening to this, so whatever, crack open a beer or take off your pants, crack a beer in this son of a bitch. As I said in the conversation, I'm probably going to get sued. That's okay, because I got no money from to take anyway. The links for MXW, ICW, and Anarchy Pro will be in the description below. As mentioned, I will not be at ICW. I have family commitments, but I am still trying really hard to make it to MXW, and might even have to try and make it to Anarchy Pro if, he does get his match with Manos, because he's going to need all the backup he can get. And I've got Charles Charrington, who's a very good friend of mine, and have no doubt he'll take care of Mason Stoneart and Hugh Sands, but that's another story for another day. The song of the week this week was Deathbed by Citizen Soldier. The match of the week was Callan Butcher versus Xavier Black versus Hex from MXW Ascend episode 11. Go to their YouTube channel. I'll try and remember to link it below. If not, then whatever. But as always, thank you guys for listening. Happy New Year. As I said in the intro, I hope, it's really cliche to say, but I hope 2023 is everything that you guys want and more, because Lord knows myself and Mrs. Crossfire, we're hoping for some better luck this year. I am the essential John L. Crossfire, and you were just caught in conversation. Mrs. Crossfire is actually in the room behind me. Shaka-laka-laka.
Shaka-laka-laka.
Thanks, guys. Happy New Year.